I can do what I want when I want to do it. I can do what I need when I need to get through it. When I need someone else, can't be too proud for help, but gotta look after myself. Sometimes it can get lonely, never living in the moment. When the sun is shining, hope that I'm reminded, like how the clouds keep changing. I'm always steady rearranging, going back to the basics of what a good day is. What a good day is. And that's exactly what today is. But it's exactly what you make it. So please don't go wasting. And I'll do the same, even if it's raining. How could I complain? And my feels got me feeling some type of way. You always free to take a break. Hope you feel what I felt. You gotta look after yourself. Sometimes it can get lonely, never living in the moment. When the sun is shining, hope that I'm reminded, like how the clouds keep changing. I'm always steady rearranging, going back to the basics of what a good day is. Of what a good day is. What a good day is. And that's exactly what today is.
Y'all know what to do. It is that time. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me. Hopefully y'all are doing well on this Wednesday morning. We should be good. Hopefully, hold on a second. I gotta make sure the sound is good. Okay, y'all can hear me. I just can't hear me for some reason. We should be good to go. Hold on a second. What happened here? We lost our music. Oh no. I'm gonna get it together, y'all. Oh, there we go. Oh, we're in the building now. Okay, I see everybody in here. Y'all are dropping the 1s in the chat. Let me see how we looking though. Woo, camera's off center, but we looking all crispy and clean on the screen. Welcome, y'all. Welcome back to another YouTube live stream and another episode of the Music Morning Show. I'm your host, Classy Beats of ClassyBeats.com. And we are going to get into it today. We've actually got some breaking news to start out the show. We'll get into that into a second. We got to talk about what's going on with Jackie Johnson. Some amazing, crazy, insane things are happening with that trial. And then, of course, we're going to review everything that happened yesterday afternoon that we missed when it comes to the ASAP Rocky trial. But before I get into it, I got to say what's up to the people, man. I see everybody up in here. Let me see who we got in here. Of course, my awesome, amazing Amy is in the building. Shout out to Amy. Appreciate you. I love and appreciate you. And thank you for everything you do. Thank you for being here. Les Cleaver's in the building, dropping the first super chat of the day. Shout out to my guy, Les Cleaver. He says, with the 5-bomb, hump day. Hope everyone's day will be great. God bless all of you. Shout out to Les Cleaver. We've got Slim Life up in here. Connie D is back at it. Valencia. Alabama Gigi's in the building. Valencia, I already said that. We got Ryan S up in here as well. Good morning. Miss 86 is in the building. We got Tatum. Did I say that right? Shout out to Tatum. Trisha's in here. We've got CPE in the building. Who else is in here? We got Penny Neal is in here. What up, what up, what up? LTO is back at it. Kimberly Gorham. We've got Sharon Brooks. Good morning. Peter Steele. We're going to talk about your cousin there, Brian Steele, in a minute. Them boys do not miss. We've got Kevin Holton in the building. Amanda Robinson in here. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. We're going to go ahead and get started with the breaking news, and then we'll get right back into the covers from yesterday. This breaking news is insane. So hopefully y'all are ready for this. If you haven't heard about it yet, you're in for a treat. If y'all could do me a favor, please make sure you like the video on your way in. Not only is it free, not only does it help the show continue to grow, but it lets the YouTube algorithm, and wherever you're watching, the algorithm there know that you guys are enjoying the show, and it shares the video with more people. So if y'all could, please make sure you like the video on your way in. Shout out to everyone who's liked the video so far. Also, if you haven't checked out the Patreon yet, please make sure you check out the all new Patreon. We've got some exclusive content over there. We'll be doing some Patreon only live streams as well, some Patreon exclusive live streams, and I'll give behind the scenes content as well for y'all. Maybe some behind the scenes about what's going on in the studio, behind the scenes of what's going on with the channel as well. So it's going to be a good time. The link is in the description and pinned to the comments in the chat as well. All right. We've got Yolanda's in here as well. Let's go ahead and get into this breaking news. We got to talk about it. Let me change this headline too real quick. Let me see. Do I have a picture? I got a picture of Jackie somewhere. Where is she at? There she is. This is crazy, y'all. Absolutely insane. So we talked about this a couple of times on this channel, but it actually just came out. This is breaking news that former district attorney and the district attorney that was somewhat involved in the Ahmaud Arbery trial, she's been on trial because of some alleged misconduct when it came to how this trial was handled, or how the Ahmaud Arbery trial was handled, what happened before that. And she allegedly made some phone calls to try and get the guys who were convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery out of jail, or keeping them out of jail. So there was a bunch of weird things going on there. We actually went through the official indictment, read it here on the channel. If y'all want to check out that video, I'll leave it in the description. And she's been on trial for the past couple of weeks, but it came out this morning that her charges actually got dismissed. Now we've got an article here from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution we're going to read, but before we get into that, I want you guys to get a quick refresher of what actually happened in this case and why she was on trial in the first place. Here we go.
On the news tonight, a former Brunswick district attorney charged with illegally interfering with police investigating the 2020 killing of Ahmaud Arbery made her first court appearance today.
A grand jury indicted Jackie Johnson 3 years ago for violating her oath of office and hindering a police officer. Fox 5's Christine Spiro joins us now in studio with the latest developments. Christine.
Yeah, well, prosecutors for State Attorney General Chris Carr's office say Jackie Johnson used her position to protect Greg McMichael and to urge police not to arrest Travis McMichael. Both men are currently serving life sentences for the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. The 25-year-old was fatally shot in February of 2020 as he ran from the men who chased him in a pickup truck in a neighborhood in Brunswick. They wrongly suspected Arbery was a thief. Police say Greg initiated the deadly chase. He was a retired investigator for Johnson's office. His son Travis killed Arbery with a shotgun. Now, during the pretrial hearing today, prosecutor John Fowler accused lead defense attorney Brian Steele of trying to steer Johnson's case into a gray legal limbo where no one would prosecute.
Brian Steele's on the case. There it is. There's our guy, Brian Steele, up in there. You may or may not remember, Brian Steele and Keith Adams are representing, or were representing, Jackie Johnson. A lot of people were torn about this, especially after everything that happened with the YSL trial. Y'all have to let me know how you feel about it in this case, which is now over.
By trying to make Attorney General Carr a witness by speculation without subpoenaing him and trying to come up with some vague reason, they're trying to get this case into a place where it cannot go forward.
If the head of the office, the elected district attorney, or in this case the elected attorney general, has a conflict, then all of their people who work for them have a conflict.
He's just doing his job.
Prosecutors have said in court filings there were 16 calls between phone numbers for Johnson and Greg in the days and weeks after the shooting. Greg left Johnson a voice message the day Arbery was killed. Johnson has denied any wrongdoing. The judge has scheduled jury selection to start January 21st. Attorneys on both sides tell the judge they expect the case to take about 2.5 weeks. But we remember how high profile this case was, and here coming full circle with this potential attorney being prosecuted. We'll see where that trial goes.
Yeah, with the years that have passed since it all happened, some people might have forgotten that there were charges involving the prosecutor in this case.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll be following it.
All right, Christine.
Thanks.
All right, so that's a little bit of the background. Now we'll get into the AJC's article about this and what happened. Ahmaud Arbery's case. The judge dismisses the remaining charges against former DA. Here we go. And shout out to the AJC for this. The indictment charging former Coastal Georgia District Attorney Jackie Johnson with violating her oath of office in the wake of the Ahmaud Arbery murder was invalid. The presiding judge ruled Wednesday before dismissing her one remaining charge. Johnson was indicted by Georgia Attorney General Chris Carr's office in 2021 on charges she violated her oath, they typed it twice, and hindered the police investigation into Ahmaud Arbery's 2020 murder. But the prosecutor's case floundered from the start. The senior judge, John R. Turner, dismissed the former Johnson's misdemeanor obstruction charge this week. He said he hadn't seen one scintilla of evidence. Oh, man. The former DA instructed police not to arrest Arbery's killers. And I mentioned this when we went through the indictment and the facts about the case. Y'all can go back and watch the video. I said this, from a legal standpoint, seems pretty shaky because we have to see as the evidence plays out what was actually said in these phone calls. Did she have phone calls with the convicted man in this case? Did she actually ask someone to do something? It turns out what we said was right, and that's not the case. Johnson's attorney, Brian Steele, has challenged the validity of his client's remaining violation of oath of office charge, which was predicated on an oath Johnson took in 2010 after being appointed by then Governor Sonny Perdue. Steele said the indictment brought by Carr's office more than 4 years ago was deficient because the oath was not in effect at the time of Arbery's murder. Oh, interesting. In fact, Johnson had taken 2 other oaths since after winning re-election bids in 2012 and 2016. From the bench, the judge expressed sympathy for Ahmaud Arbery's family members seated in the courtroom. In listening to the testimony here, I've never understand why these people were never arrested, Turner said of Arbery's killers. He said he recently lost a close friend from high school and was devastated by the news. But he said nothing compares to what the Arbery family must have gone through after losing their son. Arbery's parents seemed disappointed as they exited the courtroom, but his mother said in the hallway that she understood the judge's rationale. The law is the law, Arbery's mother said, Wanda Cooper Jones, before leaving the courtroom. But this was a win for us because we got to find out what really went on. Shout out to the AJC for that article. And yeah, shout out to Miss Jones for having that attitude. I say this all the time on this channel. No matter how you feel about somebody or what happened, when it comes to the law, you have to take these things on a case-by-case basis. And when the evidence came out, it showed, according to the judge, that not only was her oath not in place, but she didn't actually attempt to do the things that the prosecutors were saying she attempted to do. Now, there has been some shock and surprise from a lot of people in the legal community, just because you don't really see a directed verdict like this often from a judge. So y'all have to let me know what you think about that. Excuse me. Y'all have to let me know what you think about that in the comments and in the chat. I know a lot of people wanted to see this go a different way because of the entire case, but the evidence clearly showed that she wasn't guilty of what they were accusing her of. Let me know what y'all think. Wow. Some of y'all are saying the judge did the right thing. They dropped the whole case. And I actually had a couple people over on X talking about this too. And I wanted to actually do this. I wanted to review the Jackie Johnson case live, but unfortunately, they didn't have any cameras in the courtroom. I guess they didn't want They didn't want the media circus that we had in the YSL trial. So let me see. But yeah, shout out to, again, Keith Adams and Brian Steele.
And so what we have ultimately is that there is no evidence, none.
Going crazy, man. I said this to Dennis Byron. Those boys do not miss. Let me see. Where did it say? Oh yeah. So Dennis Byron said, breaking news. Judge has granted a directed verdict of acquittal for former prosecutor Jackie Johnson, meaning her case is dismissed and the case is over. And then you had another attorney say, I can't stress enough how rare it is for a case to be thrown out by a judge before the jury gets to deliberate. Again, this doesn't surprise me. We looked at the indictment. We saw what the state was trying to say or what the prosecution was trying to say, and it didn't seem like there was much there. So unless it came out that she made these phone calls and certain conversations were had, it would have been hard to, it would have been the hard one to prove. Y'all are saying, yeah, I wonder if the people that killed him are in jail. Yes, they're serving life in jail. Even the guy that followed them and filmed everything, he's serving life as well. I'm just thankful that 3 men were held accountable. Steele and Adams undefeated, even if I feel their client could have done more to get these guys arrested sooner. Yes, I agree. I agree too. And it's on whoever dismisses the charges. It's on the judge, not the lawyers. Yeah, a lot of y'all said they're just doing their job. Also, shout out to Slim Life. Did I put this up on the screen? Slim Life just gifted 5 memberships. So if you got a membership from Slim Life, please make sure you say thank you. I appreciate the love, Slim Life. And we've got 5 clips already. Well, no, is it 5 or is it 4? It's 3 actually. We've got 3 clips posted for y'all over on the members only side. So make sure y'all go check that out. I've also got another video I'm going to drop for y'all yesterday. We'll get the full edited Wally's testimony from, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Either way, I'm going to have that up for you in a couple days. So make sure y'all go check out all the members only content, and shout out to everybody who got a membership. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. We've got the ASAP Rocky trial, and I need to update. There we go. So we're going to go back to the rest of Detective Flores' testimony. You know, he started testimony yesterday, and then we got into a little bit more of it later. And then we've got another witness that's taking the stand as well. So let's go ahead and get into it and see what Judge Arnold is saying up in here. Again, this is another case. I can't imagine there being a directed verdict in this case because there is a lot of evidence there. But man, do y'all think Judge Arnold might throw this thing out? I know, seems to be the theme starting in 2025. Let's see.
Investigative steps. Why they collected the video they did and didn't. That was why I was.
So it's not offered to prove that the person in the video is Relly. It's being offered to prove,
His belief.
to show why Detective Flores did what he did.
Yes.
Okay. I think that's fair.
Well, the videos they collected before he came to the initial conclusion that it was Relly. So they didn't go collect the videos because he realized it wasn't Relly. The videos they collected were all collected from the outset. Everyone. And after that, at the preliminary hearing, for example, he testified, yes, that's Relly. I believe that's Relly. They already told me that's Relly. So what was just proper, as normal was that I should be able to ask him that question to explain their further investigative steps.
You should ask him what question? You should be able to ask him what question?
No. They just said they shouldn't be asking that
shouldn't.
question because they just said to you, they proffered to you that the reason they should ask him that question, should be able to ask him that question, is because it explains their further investigative steps, i.e., go get the videos. The videos were gotten early. They got no additional videos after they came to a conclusion initially that lasted up until the preliminary hearing in the 30s that was relevant. So
yeah, and Joe's talking about the videos that were missing. So before this lunch break took place, Detective Flores was on the stand and he was talking about what went down during his investigation when he went back and he reviewed the footage, the surveillance footage. He conveniently left out the footage during the time frame where Relly would have went back to the scene, which doesn't make any sense. And now we're getting into Joe saying he wants to be able to ask certain questions about that footage. Obviously, there's some pushback from the prosecutors here.
They didn't take any additional further steps once they changed their opinion or their mind. They changed their mind based on his testimony, obviously. But in 2023, under oath, this detective, who I think is a terrific detective and a nice guy, said under oath that, yes, my opinion is relevant. They didn't take any additional investigative steps after that. So it doesn't explain investigative steps. You made a ruling, Your Honor. What? Your ruling for what?
No, you're saying he didn't take any additional
There
investigation.
was nothing else. There was no videos to collect. You just said,
What's the next thing he did? After,
No, that he's exactly making the point that I want to make, which is they did believe that was Terrell up until very
okay, so
they
what's
couldn't
the,
have gone back to go.
so what did Detective Flores then do, based on his belief that that was relevant?
But he stopped collecting video at that point. He thought, okay, we have him here, that's him on the video, we don't need any more video past this. Fast forward to piecing together other information, details from timestamps, that he now knows, oh, we didn't collect enough video, we should have collected more.
It's a crucial part of the investigation. This man said he went back and got and found the shell casings during this time, and you didn't think it was a good idea to make sure we have that video? It doesn't make sense.
I've heard from both of you. Here's the rule. It's the offer of proof is fair game. You can ask the question, Mr. Tacopina, and you can follow it up with, are you going to cross-examine him, or is Mr. Shannon?
There you go. You're going to ask the question.
Guess what?
yes, I'm the person.
Oh, you are? All right,
Yes.
you can follow it up.
Thanks.
All right, Detective,
Can I talk to them for 1 second?
Your Honor, I had asked the court, which
Give me a second.
I had not told counsel that I asked the court for about 15 or 20 minutes between the direct and cross 12.
fine.
I'm just letting you, Judge, I'm just letting you guys know.
I don't think we're getting close today, okay? Because we have, we go report this, right? I have at least an hour.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, I know based on where we are now.
All right, so after the detective is
And court is actually going to resume on Thursday, and that's what they're talking about. It looks like 12's going to be on the stand coming up tomorrow, so that'll be interesting.
the firearms person?
Yes, you can be right tomorrow.
Is he, and he's your last people's witness?
Yes.
All right, so we will get to the defense case tomorrow?
Yeah, after that, we'll listen first, yes. Yeah. Wait a minute, Your Honor, because I thought you made a ruling, and I changed my whole course at lunchtime, so now I have to unchange my course, so give me a minute, please.
And again, there's no court today, y'all. Court is going to be back on Thursday.
Let me know when you're ready for the...
Let's get Flores back up here.
How much longer do you have on your examination? Just rough, yeah, rough.
I honestly think about an hour. I have this and then the search warrant and then, you know. I just didn't want to talk to them about before we go back on the pre-jury, so. It'll be plenty of time.
I just need a second.
Go ahead. Since understood the false.
Yeah, 12's testimony is going to be good too.
Can I borrow your knife?
What do you think? Oh, by the way, why do you have that knife? Oh, it's crazy motion.
Never mind, I fucked it up.
It was a gift.
Why do you do that? Have a look at
I've never had any.
All right. I'm not going to grab why you're letting me hear it.
You think I'm
That makes you, that feels
I'm not
better.
bad.
All right, good. Oh, yeah, why not? It's the choice out there.
So 12 is the one that was with Rocky. I see y'all asking in the chat, and he's the one that Relly used as a human shield while Rocky was allegedly shooting at him. So that's 12. That's the one that said, "Hey, you almost got me killed." No, there's no trail today. There's no trial either.
before? There was a lawyer that got punched in the face.
Yeah, I heard about it.
I didn't miss it, he was sitting there, his eyes fell
Do you know who it was?
No, I didn't see it, but I missed it by.
No, who the lawyer was?
No, I think he's not a prosecutor.
Do you know who it was?
No, I don't know.
I heard about that.
But it didn't look good.
He has good music? Okay. I don't know. I've never heard his music.
Let me see about something unrelated.
All right, let's skip ahead.
So right before the break, I played you the video of an individual returning to that intersection at Vista Del Mar and Selma after the shooting. And we talked about up until when you collected that video, you initially believed that that was Mr. Efron, correct?
Correct.
And the last question posed to you is, as you sit here today with the information that you know from his text messages, comparing his clothing, the timestamp on the text message, on the photograph, are you still of the opinion, or do you still believe that that is Mr. Efron?
I do.
Okay. There was a video clip played while Mr. Efron was testifying, which was a portion of an interview that you conducted with him in, I believe it was, I want to get the date wrong. One moment.
Get it together, man.
So, it's from your interview with him on December 17th, 2021. Specifically on page 3, lines 14, 15, and 16, where Mr. Efron says to you, at this point you were showing him surveillance video, correct?
Correct.
And I believe, and if you need to go back to the video to refresh your memory, we can, but I believe at that portion you were trying to cue up the video to show him. Does that sound accurate? Correct. And while he's sitting there, he says to you, and you see my girl, right? That was my girl I was with. You recall that?
Yes, I do.
At the moment that Mr. Efron said that, were there, what was displaying on the video that he was looking at, or was he even looking at video at that exact moment?
I believe this is a secondary clip of the time period which we thought he had returned.
We believe?
The casings, which was, I believe, 23:10 hours
But
on the day of the 6th.
Okay, you were there when he made those statements.
Correct. Yes.
Did you receive that as him pointing out that that's my girl on the clip, or did you receive that as him asking you the question, do you see her on it?
I took it as do you see her?
Not that he was specifically pointing something out.
Correct.
Okay. Let's go back to
But that's his girl where?
the surveillance video. And I want to move on from this location number 2. Now continuing around this Del Mar to location number 3. Can you describe that location for the jury?
Yes, I think 3 and 4 were residential units that had cameras facing outward towards Vista Del Mar, in the portion kind of between the Bend and El Centro.
So I just want to clarify. You said number 4
I'm sorry.
was the loading dock, correct?
Yeah, 3 is it has the 2 angles towards Vista Del Mar, and 4 is facing El Centro.
Okay. So 3 was a private residence that had cameras there, correct?
Correct.
Do you recall anything about the cameras, like where they were oriented, or?
They were oriented pointed kind of at street level. It's an apartment or a unit that's on the ground, so they were kind of facing out at kind of eye level, or from the window at eye level.
Onto Vista Del Mar?
Onto Vista Del Mar.
Okay, and
from the inside.
Let me pull up one of those camera angles and then ask you some questions about it. So I'm going, Your Honor, on People's 15. The second file is labeled 6200 Hollywood Boulevard Residence. And within that, there's 3 video files. There are labeled 3 files labeled camera 1, camera 2, camera 3. I'm going to focus on camera 2. first video file in that folder is labeled 1A220214. So, detective, I have this paused very early in the video. I can't honestly read the timestamp, but it's got to be very close to the beginning, correct?
3 seconds.
Okay. All I want where this is paused is can you orient the jury to what we are looking at on this from this camera?
Yes, this street in front of us is Vista Del Mar as it comes around the bend from Selma. So the street comes up, and this is the bend that leads to El Centro on the far
Morning,
left.
Mo.
The building across the street is part of 1616 Vista Del Mar. I have the different angles viewed from Selma up through Vista Del Mar, and then here on the bend on the way around.
And this camera specifically, camera 2 from this location that we're looking at, it has coverage that overlaps with one of the cameras on 1616 Vista Del Mar, correct?
Correct.
Last feature I want to ask, a couple features I want to ask about this. This camera, did it only capture video or did it also capture audio?
It also had audio.
All right. There's like a bluish tinge to the video. Do you have any idea what that is?
I believe
Yeah, what is that?
there were some lights that the owner or occupant had on the inside, kind of reflecting off the glass.
Okay. All right. I'm going to fast forward this to trying to get it to. Okay. Actually, let me pull it down. It's easier for me to see the timestamp. We started at 14:30 on the video player.
He said because his girl is working the streets. Don't do that.
Video player, when it gets to the end
Dang.
of the clip, it will automatically start playing the next
Come on,
clip,
Valerie.
which is 1A221716. If that makes sense.
Thank you, Chrissy.
All right, I'm going to start playing it from here.
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right as it switches to the next clip. Detective, what did you hear in that short portion of the video that's played?
Two loud noises that, to me, appeared to be gunshots.
Followed by?
The sound of a horn after the first gunshot that set off like a vehicle alarm. That would be my best guess.
So when you say horn, you mean car alarm?
A car alarm.
Okay. Up to this point in the video, have you seen any people or any movement on the video itself?
No, not at the point of that the shots were heard.
Okay. I will continue to play it from here. Looks like it jumped away from him. Sorry, Your Honor. All right, Detective, I'm going to pause it. Can you do me a favor and just make the timestamp?
The time in is 15 seconds.
Okay. And what have you seen on the video up to this point?
The sound of the appeared to be gunfire, followed by two individuals coming from the area just south of this, which is coming up from Selma, and coming around the corner here in front of the camera, seconds after.
And would you agree with me there's two people that are depicted on the screen right now?
Yes, one after the other.
And which one's the first one that appeared?
The one in the black hoodie.
And who is that?
The second one appeared to have a red jacket.
And were those individuals consistent with the individuals you saw from the 1616 Vista Del Mar address?
Yes.
All right. And which direction are they walking towards?
They are walking north to east towards El Centro.
Towards El Centro.
Correct.
All right. All right.
And this is y'all are asking about what video this is. This is the video of the street right after the shooting, and then you can see them all running away from the shooting. I see that, Jason.
All right, let's pause it there. Can you tell us the time on the video quick?
Sure. It's 55 seconds in.
Okay, and that that last individual, or the individual that we see on the screen where it's paused here, can you describe that individual?
Yes, it appears to be the last individual from the prior video off Mrs. Del Mar. The individual wearing a blue jacket and a blue hat.
Okay. And also walking towards which street?
Again, he's walking northbound Mrs. Del Mar to eastbound Mrs. Del Mar towards El Centro.
Okay. I'm going to read the second stipulation. Stipulation number 2, video surveillance from 6200 Hollywood Boulevard at a private residence. LAPD Detective James King downloaded surveillance video with audio emailed from the homeowner of a residence at 6200 Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood. The residence was located on Vista Del Mar Avenue.
It's a police report.
Avenue. The video and audio were originally recorded between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. on November 6, 2021. The surveillance video contained in People's Exhibit 15 is a true and correct copy of that video. The video, date, and timestamp are accurate as to actual time.
Should I stipulate to that?
They're all signed stipulations, so do you need to agree on the record, or is it enough that it's a signed document?
Sure, I think the jury's entitled to look at it. Both sides stipulate that.
Yes. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back to People's 33. Now, so
It's
far,
a warning shot. Yeah.
Would you agree that those 3 individuals that we've been tracking have, in general, been following the red arrow starting at 1 and working their way towards number 3?
Yes.
All right. And then if they continued on that path on Vista Del Mar, they would get to El Centro, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And I want to go to location number 4. That was, you said earlier, was a loading dock?
Correct.
Morning, JT.
I'm going back to the folder in People's 15, Your Honor, labeled 6200 Hollywood Boulevard, in parentheses WNPM. I'm playing the video file that starts with .ext loading dock. Detective, where's that pause on the timestamp?
7 minutes, 24 seconds in.
Can you go back just a little? Would you read the timestamp for us?
Yes, here on the lower left, it's 6 minutes, 39 seconds.
Okay, on the video player, correct?
Correct, on the video player here on the left corner.
Okay. Can you orient the jury, as this is paused, what the features of the video are?
Yes, so this is the loading dock, which is facing El Centro here, which is the main street in front of it. To the right is the street here where the pointer is. That's Vista Del Mar, where Vista Del Mar meets El Centro. So these individuals are coming in off of Vista Del Mar, walking northbound. The street up from this location is Hollywood Boulevard, which would be north. So we're looking at a kind of a southerly direction. They are walking northbound.
Okay. And I will keep playing. I'll play. This is a short clip. I'll just play it from here.
Might be.
All right. Will you tell me the timestamp where it's paused on the player?
Yes, lower left corner. It's 6 minutes, 54 seconds.
All right. I know there's a number of individuals on that video, but the two that walked from the direction of Vista Del Mar towards Hollywood Boulevard, can you describe them?
Yes. One of the individuals is wearing a black hoodie with kind of a design on the hood. The other individual is wearing kind of distinctly colored, kind of reddish jacket with black.
Okay. Let's start with the man that you described with the black hoodie. I'll mark my next security guard.
36.
Good morning, y'all.
Is a document with two still images from the surveillance video side by side. Detective, showing you these two still images. Do you recognize what you see here?
Yes.
Can you describe them for the jury?
Yes, the photo on the left is a still from the parking surveillance camera or the incident. Hold on. You have water?
Yes, it is.
You want a... You want a break?
What's up, M?
You think you're okay or you're okay?
I'm okay.
May you continue with the answer? Or we still want to?
Hey, that juror is struggling. Somebody get her some milk.
Yeah.
Some water, something.
Again, the photo on the left is a still from the first surveillance camera located at the parking kind of block entrance. And the second is still off the camera from the loading dock on El Centro. So one on Argyle, one on El Centro. Kind of the start and the end of where we kind of started capturing video, kind of the last one where we captured video.
Okay. And Your Honor, I'm going to make 36, if I can go back, make it a 2-page document. So I'll make this first page that we just talked about, that I was referring to as 36, make that 36A, and the second page will be 36B. With the court's permission?
Yes.
36B, I would describe it for the record as similar to 36A. It's two still images from the surveillance video side by side, just displaying different features of the clothing on the left-hand side photograph. All right, Detective, do you recognize what you see here?
Yes.
Can you describe it for the viewers?
Again, the first photograph is from the still from the parking entrance on Argyle, where the incident began.
There's the hoodie.
The second one is from the loading dock off of Central. Just looking at the similarities from my point of view, where obviously the specific design on the sweater, specifically the chest area between the first camera on Argyle and the second camera off the Central.
I'm going to mark two more exhibits, 37 and 38.
Yep, 12 is going to take the stand tomorrow.
They are similar to 36, Your Honor.
Y'all are saying this is 403?
Side-by-side photographs depicting the man in the red jacket.
Well, keep in mind, this jury hasn't seen this yet. I mean, they saw it in opening statements, but they haven't seen it from the detective's perspective yet. So, but I get it. It's tough.
Has side-by-side photographs depicting the man in the blue jacket. All right, Detective, showing you equals 36. S5E27. Do you recognize what you see here?
Yeah, yes.
Can you describe, just describe it for the jury if you will?
Again, one's a screen capture from the surveillance camera off of Argyle, the parking lot entrance. The second one is a screen capture image from the loading dock entrance off of El Centro. Specifically looking at the right box that's outlined, there is a kind of the right shoulder area of an individual wearing a jacket that is consistent with the individual off the second image off of Central.
Okay. And lastly, equals 38. Do you recognize what you see there?
Yes.
And what's that?
Again, one photograph is from the camera off the parking lot entrance off Argyle. The second screen capture is off of one of the cameras off Vista Del Mar. I believe this is right off the turn, headed towards El Centro. And specifically between both photographs, I can see that it's the same individual based on the hat, the clothing, a lot of similarities that would give me my opinion would be that it's the same individual.
As the detective assigned to this case, or as the handling detective, were you aware of when the defendant, the man seated at the counsel's table with the jacket on, was arrested in this case?
Yes.
What date was that?
It was April 20th, 2022.
And where specifically was he when that arrest occurred?
It was at LAX, Los Angeles Airport.
Okay. That same day, did you search any locations?
Yes, we conducted a search pursuant to a search warrant of his residence.
Here we go.
Okay, and we have agreed to refer to that residence as his West Hollywood home, so if you would not state the address, please. In order to conduct that search, did you obtain a search warrant?
Yes, we did.
And were you personally present when his West Hollywood home was searched on April 20, 2022?
Yes, I was
Detective Flores.
Would it be fair to describe that house as a relatively large house?
Yes.
How, in general, was the search of that house conducted?
It was conducted with a team of officers and detectives that assisted with the search, securing the location primarily first, and then going through each room and area systematically looking for specific items that we were searching for related to this case.
And when you say there was a team of people, did you kind of split up the rooms so that one part of the team would search one room and another part would search another room?
Correct.
When anything of significance was located, what would be your involvement at that point?
I was called over and the item was pointed out, and I was given information as far as what condition it was in or where it was originally seen.
During the search of his residence, were you alerted to multiple firearm-related items that were found in his house?
Yes, including things we were looking for and other things that we weren't, anything substantial that they wanted me to look at, I went there and looked at. It wasn't necessarily everything that we seized.
But would it have been everything firearm-related?
Yes.
And if you can narrow it down to one room in the house, what room was the firearm-related evidence?
Caught that 420. That's funny.
I kind of describe as the master bedroom of the house belonging to Mr. Myers.
Okay. Did you observe any fire-related evidence in any other?
He beat that case since we.
Any other rooms in the house?
No.
Let's start with the actual firearms. Did you observe any actual guns in this house?
Yes.
What? How many?
3.
And if you can describe for the jury, how can you distinguish between the 3 of them, or describe them each in a unique way?
Yes. One I would describe as a rifle, another as a shotgun, another as a handgun.
Okay.
Y'all are funny.
I have 6 pages. If they may be marked as People's 39, A through F.
Yeah, I still can't believe he didn't capture the video. That's crazy.
Let's start with People's 39A. Do you recognize the area that's depicted in this photograph?
Yes, I do.
And what would this be?
That is the angle of the master bedroom facing the bed.
Okay. Would you agree with this be the same room that you've been talking about where the firearms were specifically located?
Correct.
All right, we go over to 39B. Do you recognize what you see here?
Yes, that's a side table adjacent to the bed.
Okay. There's an item with a red rectangle around it.
Ah, this is
above
different.
That side table. Can you make out that item?
Yes.
What is that?
The handgun.
And would that be the handgun that you were describing earlier?
Yeah, I described it as kind of a large caliber handgun.
All right. Before we move on, there's another set of boxes.
And they got
or
stuff
items
all over the
left-hand
place.
corner with another red rectangle around them. What's that?
Correct. I believe that was the case where the rifle and shotgun were contained.
Okay.
Carrying case.
Yeah. Well, can we talk about what is on this table for a second? We got drinks. We got a candle. We got lotion and Tic Tacs. And then what? Is this some type of hard drive or something? They got toilet paper. Hey, yo. What is going on here? This looks like the beginning of a freak off or something. I don't know. Maybe Diddy was coming over. This is wild, man.
Okay.
Carrying case.
They got 2 full packs of Tic Tacs.
Let's start with the handgun. That item, would you agree, it was directly behind, essentially like the headboard of the bed?
What's going
yes,
on?
behind the bed.
All right. I'll show you 39C. Do you recognize
That's a
what's
nice
there?
gun.
Yes.
What is that?
That's the handgun. Again, I described it as a large
This is
caliber.
Rocky's house.
Just a close-up of the same gun that you just pointed out.
Correct.
Okay. Do you know what caliber handgun that was?
I believe it's a 44 caliber handgun.
Are you positive that it was not a 9mm handgun?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you inspect the gun?
I saw it where it was, and as the detectives had found it, located it, came to me. I don't recall picking it up and handling it myself.
Did you inspect it enough to determine whether or not it was a real gun?
Yes.
Was it a real gun?
Yes.
Do you know whether or not it was loaded?
I do not.
Is that a revolver or a semi-automatic?
That's a semi-automatic.
Got a clip in it with no ammo.
For that handgun?
All right.
Is it loaded? Is it shoved up inside of the grip?
From this angle, it looks like there is a magazine seated in the weapon.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right. I'm going to move back over to People's 39B and focus on the items at the bottom left-hand corner. And for that, I'm going to display People's 39B. Do you recognize what you see there?
Yes.
Just a better angle of those same outside boxes, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Go to 39E. What do you see there?
Yes, that's where you see the one case that's been opened. You can see inside.
Well, we can't see.
Right.
And when you say that, it's closer to the bottom of the page because there's 2 boxes here, correct?
Correct. There's 2 boxes. So I'm looking at the lower box here specifically. It's kind of cracked open, and you can see the inside. And I can see the bottom end of what I believe is the rifle.
And
Which he owned
did you
legally.
inspect that gun close enough to know if it was a real gun or a fake gun?
Correct. Yes.
And what was it?
It's a real gun.
And does that gun fire 9mm ammunition?
It does not.
Okay.
Nope.
And then lastly, 39F. Do you recognize what you see there?
Yes, here on the right. So both cases are now open. The case on the right specifically, I can see the outline of the shotgun, also in addition to the shotgun shells in the carrier of the
It's like a hunting rifle.
Let's see if I can get the glare off there. It's kind of hard to see. That was getting better. The shotgun you described as being on the right-hand side, correct?
Correct. Shotguns here on the right, rifles on the left, and that's two separate cases.
Got it. Okay. And with the shotgun specifically, did you inspect it close enough to tell if it was a real gun or a fake gun?
Yes.
And what was it?
Real gun.
Okay. Will that gun shoot 9mm ammunition, the shotgun?
No.
Yeah.
Did you collect any of those guns?
No.
Why not?
They weren't part of what we were looking for pursuant to the search warrant.
And was that specifically 9mm caliber handgun?
9mm caliber weapons or the evidence of possession, purchase, anything related to a 9mm, specifically 9mm handgun.
Okay. Those three guns in that location, would that be where they were when you first observed them?
Yes.
In close proximity to the bed in the master bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. In addition to the three guns that we just talked about, was there any other firearm-related evidence that you were alerted to in his home?
Yes.
What was that?
A magazine, a 9mm magazine for a Glock 43, collected from a box in the master bedroom closet.
Now I'm going to mark two more photos. Do 40A and B.
So, in case y'all are wondering the timeline on this, so the incident took place, as we know, on November 6th of 2021. The police didn't conduct this investigation or raid his home, however you want to say it, until I believe it was April 2022. So almost 6 months later, just under 6 months later.
Start with People's 40A. Do you recognize what you see there?
Yes.
And just to orient the jurors, this white object on the left lower hand corner, would that be the bed?
Yes, this is from the headboard view, the headboard looking towards the foot of the bed. On the right is the kind of walk-in closet. On the left is the kind of walk-in master suite bathroom. And then there's a sliding glass door here on the far left leading out to kind of a balcony.
Okay. Lastly, I'll go to part B. Do you recognize what you see there?
Yes.
And what is that?
That's a box containing ammunition, magazines for a rifle.
It's a magazine,
specifically
9mm.
Or a rifle. Sorry. And in the center here, there's the magazine that was recovered containing live ammunition, specifically 9mm ammunition.
In that photograph, underneath the magazines, it looks like there are a number of boxes. What are those boxes?
The boxes underneath are ammunition, I believe, that was consistent with the rifle. That was in one of the cases.
Were any of those boxes consistent with 9mm ammunition?
No.
You said that magazine was for a 9mm handgun, correct?
Correct.
A smaller one?
Yes, I believe it's a Glock 43.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope they bring Relly back on the stand. That would be amazing.
And was that 9mm magazine collected along with the ammunition that was loaded inside of it?
Yes, it was.
I have two envelopes here, Your Honor. In agreement with the defense, they are inner envelopes that were taken out of a larger outer envelope. another item that was in the outer envelope is not being used, so the returns is detected, and we're just using the inner envelope.
So that's part of 32? Or do you want to mark it separate?
I think I want to mark it separately, Your Honor, and I'll mark each of the envelopes separately just so we don't get them confused.
First one's going to be 41.
I'll mark the magazine 41. And I'll mark the ammunition as 42.
So it looks like he's about to break out some more evidence. Here we go.
These envelopes were open as the jurors will walk through, Your Honor, so they are previously open.
That's how you know California is bougie. They got Essentia on the prosecution side. Good Lord. State's paying for Essentia?
We write it on the envelope so I don't forget the numbers.
It's probably like $4 a bottle out there.
Do you recognize that object?
Yes.
And what is that?
That's the magazine that was recovered and shown in that photograph on the screen.
In the master bedroom closet?
Correct.
Okay. Can you describe what that object is, or what?
I love
tell
this
us the features
Essentia.
of it. What's the brand of that object?
It's a Glock brand magazine, which has the capacity of 6 rounds that can be loaded. And a semi-automatic firearm, the rounds are loaded into the magazine as you press it down, the loaded capacity.
Yeah, that smart water was not helping really.
Filled to whatever ammunition is available or
At all.
capacity. It's then seated inside the weapon. The weapon is then charged. And we chamber around into the chamber. Takes the gun ready at that point.
Okay. And you specifically said this was for a Glock, correct?
Glock 43.
Okay. 9mm.
9mm.
And then People's 42 has, you want to count how many there are there?
There are 6 live rounds of ammunition for all 9mm.
Are they all the same make and model? Yeah.
Yeah. Alkaline is the only way to go. If you know, you know.
Yes.
And what caliber are they?
9mm.
And what's the brand?
SIG Luger.
SIG, S-I-G, Luger, L-U-G-E-R. Okay. I'll put one of these on the screen. First I'm going to put up People's 41. That's the magazine, correct?
Correct.
And then next to it I'll put one of the items from People's 42. That's the unfired bullet, correct?
Correct. That's a live round of 9mm.
Okay. And then on the bottom is where it says SIG 9mm Luger, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to put that back in envelope number 42, and I'll put the magazine back in envelope 41. Did you observe any guns in the defendant's home which would accept or utilize the magazine that's been marked as People's 41?
No. None that I found, none that were pointed out to me or identified by anybody else in the search.
In your experience owning firearms, specifically with semi-automatic firearms, is it common that if you
Gotta
own
be
a gun,
Pacific.
you may possess multiple magazines for that firearm?
Yes. My experience, anytime I purchased a gun, semi-automatic specifically, it's come with more than just one magazine.
But still.
based on your experience in law enforcement and with gun ownership,
That's a crazy question.
Are you aware of any purpose why someone would possess a single handgun magazine without also possessing a gun capable of accepting objection or full speculation?
Thank you. I was just gonna say object to that. That's crazy, man. And he tried to preface it with, and your experience as a law enforcement officer. That's crazy, man. Like, in your experience as an law enforcement officer, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna put some respect on the law enforcement officers. Y'all get it. You're smart.
During the entirety of the search,
That's a crazy
at
question.
the defendant's home, did you personally observe any fake guns, prop guns, or starter guns?
I did not, and
Doesn't mean he didn't have one.
that description was pointed out to me or identified during the search.
During the search, did you observe any ammunition or a prop gun, a fake gun, or a starter gun?
No, I did not, and along the same lines, nothing was identified to me by any other member of the search team.
During your investigation, did you observe any 9mm weapon? No. But he's not gonna ask that question. He's gonna ask about a prop gun.
When it related to this case, were you first made aware that there was an allegation that the gun used at the scene was a prop gun, a fake gun, or a starter pistol?
Objection.
Hold on.
Objection. He was made aware.
Overruled.
You can answer, Detective. So when related to this investigation was the first time that you were made aware the allegation that the gun used at the scene was a prop gun, a fake gun, or a starter pistol?
I believe it was last Monday, which was the 20. I'd have to look at my calendar. But it was Monday when you called to let me know, and I was made aware that that was what was.
Okay. When you say the Monday, would it have been around when jury selection started in this case, or was there already evidence being presented?
That was when, right during jury selection.
Okay. Around the 20th, would that sound about right to you?
Yes.
Of January?
Right.
And we're talking about 2025.
2025.
I don't have anything else in here.
That was it?
This would probably be a good time to take breaks.
No.
All right, folks. The clock has been adjusted, so the clock is now accurate. So let's break until 5 minutes to 3, at which time we will resume. Please don't discuss the case amongst yourselves and leave.
All right, what do y'all think about what you've heard so far? Nothing really crazy to me. Again, it was 6 months that it took them to actually, I guess, get a warrant to raid this home. Didn't find a 9mm. They found a 9mm. Here's the thing. They found a 9mm magazine. If you're going to get rid of a gun, why wouldn't you get rid of the 9mm magazine? Reasonable doubt, in my opinion. It doesn't make sense that, oh yeah, I'm just gonna hold on to this, but we're gonna go and toss the gun somewhere. Come on. What? But I mean, I don't think there's anything here that's damning. I don't think there's anything here that goes against the defense or is for the prosecution. It's really just a, hey, this is what happened. This is what I saw in my investigation. Let's go ahead and get into cross-examination here as we skip through this break. And actually, I'm gonna read super chats real quick too. Shout out to everybody that showed some love and sent in the super chats. I think the only one I missed, I got Slim Life in there gifting the memberships. We also got Chrissy in here. Shout out to Chrissy with the $1.99. Says, let's smash the like button for our favorite morning show host. Appreciate you, Chrissy. And thank you to everyone who's liked the video so far. It really does help us continue to grow the channel here. So thank you to all 800 of y'all that did that. And shout out to the 1,200 of you that are watching as well. All right, here we go. Let's get back into it. Let me see. We're going to go to the 4. Here we go. 4:12 mark. Yeah, all his guns were registered except the 9mm. Come on, man.
Flores is on the Stan,
Crazy.
I believe you wanted to read one more stipulation.
Yes, just go ahead. Stipulation number 3 regarding surveillance video from 6200 Hollywood Boulevard business. The stipulation is LAPD Detective Frank Flores, Carlos Camacho, and Luis Maria, along with LAPD Technical Investigations Division Technician Harry Wooten, downloaded surveillance video from the security office at the property management company for the business located at 6200 Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood. The security office maintains security cameras on Argyle Avenue and on El Centro Avenue. The video was originally recorded between 10 p.m. on November 6, 2021 and 1 a.m. on November 7, 2021. The surveillance video contained in People's Exhibit 15 is a true and correct copy of that video. The system, video, date, and timestamp are approximately 2 to 3 minutes faster than actual time. You can stipulate.
So stipulated by the pass?
Yes, sir. I've spoken before.
Yes, we have.
Witness and
Preliminary hearing, yeah.
November 2023, right?
Correct.
By the way, let me just start out where you finished off. You had some questions about when you personally were made aware of one of the issues raised by the defense of Mr. Mayor's being in possession of a prop gun, and you said it was fairly recently before the trial started, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Obviously, you never spoke to Mr. Mayor's from the day of the incident till today.
Correct.
All right. You never spoke to 12E from the day of the incident till today.
Correct.
All right. You never spoke to Lou Levin from the day of the incident, correct?
Correct.
All right. You certainly don't know what Mr. Mayor Rocky has told his attorneys several years ago, do you?
I'm not aware.
Oh. And of course, you know, there's no depositions in criminal cases, correct?
Correct.
All right. So basically what you're being asked are questions related to discovery and disclosure in a criminal case, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. One second. All right, sir.
All right, come on, Joe.
So you were assigned to investigate this case, I think it was November 9th
November 9th.
of 2021, along with detectives Macho Matthew, correct?
Correct.
And you've been sitting here in court every day at the trial watching every witness?
For the most part, yes.
For the most part, yeah. And as a detective assigned to this case, you're familiar with all the police reports generated in connection with this case?
Yes.
And because police reports are relied on at hearings and trials like this one, as a case detective, you want to ensure that those reports are as complete and accurate as possible, right?
Yes, I mean, they are a summary of the information gathered, that there are other parts of the information that's gathered to go along with that, recordings, interviews, stuff like that, but it's a summary.
Sure. But you want that summary to be as accurate as possible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And as a case detective, you spoke with other officers with knowledge about this case as part of your investigation?
Yes, we did.
And obviously,
Uh-oh, Long Crime lost the feed. No. There we
for
go.
example, you reviewed and retrieved the video recordings pertaining to this incident.
Correct.
So what we talked about and just seen, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. 16 BC Del Mar is one, right?
Yes.
6200 Hollywood, is it Hollywood Boulevard?
Yes.
Hollywood Boulevard is another? Yes, sir.
Correct.
All right. And you retrieved the Vista Del Mar video on November 9th, 2021?
That's correct.
Okay, and the Hollywood Boulevard video, I think it was a few weeks later, November 18th?
I believe that is correct.
Now, on November 8th, 2021, law enforcement received 2 9mm Luger shell casings from Mr. Efron.
Correct, per the initial crime report, yes.
Yes. And those shell casings were submitted to the fingerprint analysis lab about 2 weeks later on November 21st, 2020.
It doesn't matter.
You're familiar that the fingerprints can typically be left behind on bullets when they're touched and loaded in a firearm, right?
There is always a possibility anything that's touched can leave a fingerprint trace behind.
I mean, even if they took fingerprints off of the casings, What's going to be the point? They were brought in by someone who said they found him, which we don't have any video evidence, or they looked and saw that it didn't show anything significant. I don't get what's the point, man.
So the answer is yes, they can, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the latent print lab, the LAPD latent print lab, completed its fingerprint analysis of those two shell casings on November 23rd, 2020.
That sounds correct.
And after examining the casings provided by Mr. Efron, law enforcement lifted exactly 0 fingerprints off them, correct?
That's correct. 0 prints were lifted.
So there are no fingerprints of anyone on those shell casings.
That's correct.
On April 20th of 2022, so we're fast forwarding a little bit, you secured a search warrant to obtain DNA swabs from Mr. Mayers.
Correct. That was included in the search warrant for that date that it was executed.
Right. And in order to obtain that search warrant, you swore to a judge that DNA from Mr. Mayers was clearly necessary for analysis for probable cause purposes as well as evidentiary purposes.
Yes, to
Interesting.
Potential evidence that could be in custody or that could be collected at some point during the investigation. A comparison can be made. If any evidence that we have or collect along the way can be compared to.
Correct. And after getting the search warrant for Mr. Mayers' DNA, you took samples of his saliva on April 20th, 2022.
Yes, as part of that arrest, there were samples taken.
Right.
420.
You affirmed that DNA was clearly necessary as part of the case. Law enforcement never submitted anything for DNA analysis in this case.
Correct. We didn't collect or have anything further to compare it to. At least it was correct.
The alleged altercation between Mr. Efron and Mr. Mayers took place on November 6, 2021, around 10:17 p.m.
Come on, guys. And Cat Not Williams in the building too. What is Cat saying over here? Cat Not Williams says, yeah, the person in the white tee doesn't appear to lean down as if to pick something up. I feel like really wanted to say it was him at the station to prove he found the shell casings, but now he realizes the person isn't actually picking anything up. What? She also says, good morning. Someone just posted a still frame of Relly holding a prop gun in the Angel videos. Tagged you. Shout out to Cat Not Williams, man. Y'all make sure you go check her out and show her some love. Wow. We're going to look at it here in a minute. Thank you, Cat. All right, let's see if Lone Card gets it together.
25 seconds. That whole thing.
Roughly.
According to you, based on your knowledge from the investigation and your review of the videos in this case, after leaving the scene of the altercation at around 10:17, Mr. Efron initially claimed he returned to the scene at around 11:09 p.m.
Yeah, is the girlfriend going to testify?
Then on accuracy, 11:09. Wait a minute.
I'm going to ask y'all in the chat.
Yes, sir. I'm not sure about the exact time, but I think he roughly said within an hour of the incident.
Would you agree it's somewhere around the events of that time, 11:09? Okay. Go to the plenary here tomorrow and just read the question and answer. I'm trying not to be
I don't see it as being impeached. Why don't you?
She better have her stuff together.
What it was that.
Mr. Efron told you 52 minutes more later.
But speaking of his girlfriend testifying, if she doesn't testify, wouldn't that look bad for the prosecution? If she doesn't testify, that's going to look terrible. Like, why wouldn't you want someone to corroborate Relly's story? You're not going to testify at all and say, oh yeah, we went here, we did this, and he picked up the shell casings. If she doesn't testify, that's going to look bad. For real.
He came back to the scene, correct?
I don't recall him saying the exact time, but I do recall him saying roughly within an hour after the initial incident.
And you got that from watching the videos, correct?
On first review, yes, that's what I believe. It's consistent.
And I understand your testimony is now changed to say you don't think it's in, but initially, you certainly thought that person we saw was in.
Yes.
At 11:09, right?
Yes, that was my belief.
Okay. And
That's crazy.
to you, at least, that was Mr. Efron on the videos.
That was my belief because it was consistent with the time frame that he provided.
Right. It was consistent with what Mr. Efron told law enforcement.
Correct. Within the hour estimate.
Okay. And that person, whoever that person was, Mr. Efron initially said it's in, you believe it was in initially, leaves the scene at 11:11 p.m., 2 minutes later.
Roughly.
The first part of this question seems to act on evidence.
No, it's not in evidence.
Stop. Read the question back to you.
And that person, whoever that person was, Mr. Efron initially said it was him. Want me to read it again?
And here's the picture that Kat was talking about. Let me make sure y'all can see this. So you see that's Relly right there. What does he have in his hand? Oh, prop gun. Uh-oh. Interesting.
I can approach her and try not to speak in there.
Court will be back tomorrow.
You are so I'm not trying to mislead you. I'm just saying initially he said it was him. That's what my question was. I know now it's changed. What was said on that day. But initially he said it was him. So whoever that person was, I saw my question out with. Who Mr. Efron initially said was him, left the scene 2 minutes later.
I don't know if it's evidence or not. I can't remember every single.
You just said it. I would change the objection to being argumentative. If he
It's a
wants
good
to ask
question,
that
Ken.
person leave within 2 minutes, I have no problem with that. But we don't need the argumentative part at the beginning of that question.
You know, I'm not. Hold on a second. I can do this easy. Did Mr. Efron initially say that was him?
I don't recall if he used those words exactly. I believe he made a comment that may have indicated that. But
Well, for instance, you were here when he testified at the trial.
correct.
Do you remember when he said at this trial from the jury that he was sure that was him?
Yes.
Okay. So, just a week ago, or a few days ago, Mr. Efron said that was him, correct?
Correct.
So, whoever that person was, that person that Mr. Efron swore it was him to this jury initially, left 2 minutes later.
Roughly within 2 minutes, that person left.
Objection to prompt. That's phrased.
Yes.
This is crazy. So he remembers what happens in the video, but he doesn't have the video.
And to be clear, you observed all the video footage that was recovered in this case.
Yes.
So, if that is not, the new position is not Mr. Efron, at least you don't think it's Mr. Efron. Based on your testimony today, you have absolutely no video showing Mr. Efron ever returning to the scene, correct?
Correct.
What? That makes no sense.
Now, amongst the video you reviewed in this case was a body cam footage, one by officers at the scene who responded that night, correct?
Correct.
You watched that? Yes. Sir?
Yes.
Okay. And you are aware, before Mr. Efron or whoever that person was returned to the scene 52 minutes later, law enforcement had arrived.
Yes.
And certainly before, if Mr. Efron returned to the scene, certainly before Mr. Efron returned to the scene, law enforcement had arrived.
Correct.
All right. And the police arrived at the scene about 18 minutes after the incident.
Yes, roughly.
Okay. And there were at least 7 officers there.
Yes.
And while they were at the scene of the incident,
Makes no
18 minutes
sense.
after it ended, these 7 officers were canvassing the area.
Yes, they are walking in and about the area of Selma and Vista One.
And you saw them on the video searching the area of the altercation.
Yes. Adjacent parking lot, yes.
Right. Using the flashlights.
Correct.
Looking on the ground. You saw them.
Yes.
I know you know this answer, you've been asking that way. You know law enforcement did not cover any cases in this case, correct?
Correct. The officer responding did not find or recover any cases.
No officers ever covered any shell cases.
No.
Right?
No. You're asking from the radio call, the officer that responded initially? No.
Yes. Or any other police officers cover any cases from the scene?
Only the officer at the front desk that who took the casings.
Yeah, my question's from the scene.
Okay. No, not
Yeah, who took the casings from Relly? This part doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. If you're a juror and you hear this and you say 7 police officers just somehow were out there searching with flashlights, looking for shell casings, doing their job that they do every single day, and all 7 of them didn't find one shell casing. If I'm sitting on this jury, I'm like, man, get this guy out of here. I know what happened. Okay, Detective Flores, you want to bring up the fact that the officer at the front desk recovered shell casings. No, he didn't. They were handed to him by the guy who was allegedly shot. Please, let's not. What do y'all think the jurors think about this BS? I'm not buying it. I don't know. Shout out to Dr. EJ. Good morning.
They didn't locate any sign of shooting, correct?
Correct. Other than the radio call.
Right, but that's a call. And you heard Officer Zizzo testify, I think it's Sergeant Zizzo now. You heard him testify. A lot of people make calls or they just interpret things, correct? You heard that?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of reasons. Sometimes people are just not
garbage
around after.
But in any event, you do agree that the officers who arrived 18 minutes later didn't locate any sign of shooting.
That's correct.
And despite that, as shown on the video, after the police left and Mr. Efron returned to the scene, he supposedly located the shell casings by himself without a flashlight within minutes.
I believe he said he used the light on his phone and he located it.
Within minutes.
What do you mean facts not in evidence? Didn't he see the video?
You were in this courtroom when Mr. Efron testified that this individual named 12E had a knife during this incident, right?
Yes.
And you're familiar with a summary investigative report related to this case dated August 5th, 2022, sir? Yes?
Yes, I am.
And that's a collective sort of prior statements and a summary of the investigation overall.
That is specifically a final summary.
And that's what you used to file the case with the district attorney's office.
Correct.
Right. So obviously, in that report, you certainly wouldn't want there to be any accuracies, right?
Correct.
All right.
It relates to the crime, yes. Correct.
That's what relates to the crime.
Yes, sir.
Your name is on that report, right, sir?
My name is on the report.
And what you wrote in the last line of the first page of this report, the collective statements, is that the victim observed Yulunga in ASAP Hills was armed with a knife. Did you write that?
I didn't author this report.
Is it in that report?
It is in that report.
Okay. So some police officer.
And we heard this. We heard this in preliminary hearing too. Detective Flores claims that somebody else did the report, or his partner did the report, and he signed off on it. And even in preliminary hearings, Detective Flores said, "Yeah, you know, actually, I saw the summary and the final report, and it's actually wrong. And you know, it is what it is." He said that in preliminary hearing. If y'all missed it, I'll put the link in the description for that video where we covered it. It's crazy.
Yes. I believe that was my partner, Detective Conch.
Shout out to Dr. EJ.
Where'd he go? He used to be there, right?
He was in the back. He went to the
He's gone. But he was there. The guy was
Yeah,
there.
he was there.
He's right. And it was brought to your attention during the preliminary hearing on November 20th, 2023, that this report said Mr. Efron identified
Here it goes.
ASAP Hills as the one armed with a knife. We discussed that preliminary hearing, sir.
Yes, sir.
Cool. And if you thought that that report was inaccurate, you certainly could have asked for that to be changed at any point, correct?
Yes, sir. I mean, but honestly, yes, that was a mistake. But the prior interviews that were recorded of Mr. Efron from the telephonic interview on the 9th and the in-person interview on December 17th, 2021, he was consistent on both interviews that the person with the knife was, in fact, 12. The report prepared for that August filing.
Yo, Joe, stop this guy, man. I don't know why he's letting him talk. We're not talking about the interviews. We are talking about your report, sir. It's funny. It's funny to see the difference between these LAPD guys and what we saw in Fulton County. Like, these guys are totally okay with going on to the stand and say, hey, you know, I messed up. It is what it is. Yeah, you know, we went out there and we probably missed some shell casings. Yeah, you know, the other guy, my partner, filed the report, and I signed off on it. And yeah, he just missed some stuff. So, whoops. It's what. It's what.
There was an error, and it didn't indicate the wrong person. That is correct.
Well,
oh man, shout out to Dr. EJ.
If you thought that report was inaccurate, you could have asked that to change, correct?
Yes.
And you know, did.
No, I answered your question. I mean, the record, I think, captured through the interviews, is clear what Mr. Efron said versus what our mistake was.
What?
Did you change the report?
No, we did not generate another report. Correct.
So, you were here obviously last Tuesday, January 28th, when Mr. Efron testified on the record that he saw a knife being held after Rocky put the alleged gun away, correct?
Correct.
All right. And with regard to the knife, Mr. Efron told police in November of 2021 that he saw the knife being held while Rocky was pointing the alleged gun at him, and he was yelling.
All right.
Correct. I believe that's the way it was described in that crime report.
So while Rocky's holding the alleged gun at him and pointing it at him, he's seeing a knife simultaneously.
You've seen that during that event, correct?
Not during that event. While the gun is being pointed at him, correct?
That's the way it's described in the report, yes, sir.
You also heard Mr. Efron's testimony last Tuesday, January 28th, that he saw the knife being put away, and he then said, "What the F you got a knife for?" You remember that testimony last week?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And in November of
He messed
2021,
up.
Mr. Efron told the police that only after he said, "Why you got a knife," did that knife get put away. Recall that?
I don't recall that specifically, sir.
I'll show you a report.
Okay.
It's 77 in our database. It's please follow the investigation report from November 9th, 2021.
Relly's testimony is cooked. I don't know what they're gonna do with this testimony.
This is not the proper person to either refute or confirm what Relly Efron told some other officer. So the objection's one second.
I don't know if he's gonna get to it, but did they interview the girlfriend or whatever she was, his paramour, as they like to say in Fulton County? Did they interview her? We might find out. Come on, man.
Anyway, you saw an arrest warrant on Mr. Mayor's on April 13th, 2022.
Correct, that's the date it was signed.
And to be clear, law enforcement received Mr. Efron's complaint 5 months earlier, November 8th, 2021.
When we received it, it would have been the 9th. It was, the initial report was taken on the 8th.
They didn't interview the girlfriend.
8th of 9th of November 2021. You guys, PD, like the station house guy, November 8th, right?
Correct.
On that same day, law enforcement received November 8th. 2 9mm Ruger casings from Mr. Efron.
Correct.
The next day, you along with Detectives Camacho and Henry spoke to Mr. Efron again at then.
Yes, telephonic.
By the way, that same day, November 9th, Mr. Efron told you he decided not to become involved in Rocky's music business any longer. You saying that?
I believe the statement's the last thing.
And also on November 9, 2021, law enforcement received surveillance video pertaining to the incident from 1616 East Del Mar.
Correct.
And Hollywood Boulevard on November 18th.
Yes.
6200. Correct. And on November 10th, 2021, law enforcement obtained authorization to search T-Mobile information for Elijah Longo or ASAP Bill's phone number.
Correct. We searched one.
Sorry.
Yes.
And specifically, the T-Mobile information law enforcement obtained authorized to search Elijah Longo, ASAP Bill's, his call detail records and his GPS location.
Correct.
Nice.
GPS location data, I should say.
Yes.
And those records, the GPS location data that you all were able to obtain, show that Elijah Lunga, ASAP Bill's cell phone, was near Selma Avenue in East Del Mar approximately 10:12 p.m. on November 6th.
I believe that's right.
And those records also show that Bill's, I'm just going to refer to Bill's so move this along a little bit. ASAP Bill's cell phone was near Mr. Mayor's residence at 11:11 p.m. Later that night.
Yes, subsequently after this.
In addition,
Okay, I'm gonna let it go.
Gaining access. By the way, you also gained access to Mr. Efron's cell phone, correct?
Subsequent to his arrest, the physical phone, yes.
Yes. No, Mr. Efron.
Oh.
They need to get her on the stand. Yeah, I agree.
Right. That was in November of 2020.
Yes.
Correct. So you had access to his phone.
Yes, we did.
By the way, did he mention that he had deleted any messages before you had that phone?
I don't remember asking him specifically if he had.
But did he volunteer?
I don't recall the volunteer.
It's not the EC.
The guy who was making the complaint about this guy, Chris Efron, he mentioned that he had deleted messages between him.
Correct. Nothing was volunteered as far as that.
And you wouldn't know to ask that, obviously, right?
He was cooperative and provided his phone.
You wouldn't know to ask that, he said.
I wouldn't know. Right.
What?
And the information on that phone contained Mr. Efron's communications, as far as you knew, with Mr. Mayers, with Hills, and Schwelke.
Correct.
And as of November 2021, law enforcement had Mr. Efron's statement, 1, correct?
Correct.
Cell phone records, 2, yes.
I believe so, by that.
Video of the incident.
Some of it is correct.
Well, which video did you not have by the end of November 2021?
The end of November, correct. I touched it November 17th. I touched it.
No. So, because the last video you got on November 8th, right?
Correct.
So let's again. In the month of November 2021, you had the collective police officers and law enforcement
Correct.
had Mr. Efron's statement. Yes.
Yes, sir.
You had cell phone records in this case.
Yes.
You had video of the incident.
Correct.
And you had 2 shell cases provided by Mr. Efron.
Correct.
Right.
But you still waited another 5 months until April 2022 to arrest Mr. Mayers.
We mentioned that earlier.
Yes or yes?
Yes.
And during those 5 months, from November 2021 until Mr. Mayer's arrest in April of 2022, law enforcement recovered nothing else, no additional evidence to use against Mr. Mayers, correct?
Correct.
In fact, during those 5
Why did
months,
they
law
wait?
enforcement never contacted 12E, never tried to find 12E or contacted them, correct?
No, we were able to contact him.
Able? Did you try?
No, I'm sorry. At that point, no.
This is what Kat was talking about. They didn't try to contact him during those 5 months. That doesn't make any sense. What? So you got a guy that's a... Wow.
You understood that 12E was present.
They're trash.
Correct. We understood. They were present during the whole appointment.
Now, obviously, he would be an important potential witness in this case.
Could be.
Who was that?
Yes, sir.
And you testified as the case detective. It's your job to look at all
It's true.
right?
Correct.
So you cleared your arrested Mr. Mayers without even trying to speak to 12E.
Sustained.
Let's now move over to the house search that you conducted. Okay, so this was on April 21st. You conducted the extensive search of Mr. Mayer's residence, correct?
Yes, April 20th, 2022.
And during the search, aside from what we all saw, we'll get into that when I ask you about those things. You also saw boxes in his residence, right?
I'm sorry?
Boxes, like cardboard boxes.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to just show you a picture of these things. You know, I guess we'll identify them as we go through the exhibit to each one.
Oh, he's moving.
Correct.
All right, your next exhibit is W.
Is it easier for you to see back there, or is it just we have it?
It's easier to see.
Okay, so you can turn around with it. This is W drawing?
Yes, W.
Okay. That's one of the photos you see things packed in cardboard boxes there.
Correct.
Did you learn whether or not Mr. Mayers was in the process of removal at this point?
I was not aware that he was in the process.
How about the next one is? That would be defense.
X. That's an X-ray.
You see those boxes there?
Yes, I do.
By the way, can I go back to the last photo, the W, I think? Those cardboard boxes that you see in this photo, Did you search those?
The closed boxes, no.
I'm gonna just look for, I know you said on this. Closed boxes. Did you say?
Correct.
Oh, closed boxes.
Yes,
oh, I
sealed
just said
boxes.
closed. Okay.
They didn't
Closed.
search the box.
Closed boxes, sealed. Okay. So you did not search
Man.
those. Okay. Next, please. No, the other license.
So they found what they were looking for and they just gave up. They didn't search through all these boxes. What kind of raid is this?
Did you search any of those bags or boxes there?
I don't recall going through them myself. I know the rooms that we've gone through.
I'm sorry?
I did not go through that room myself. I don't recall going through that room. But I know each room was searched by part of the team.
Who does that? We gotta boo them, man. We gotta boo these guys. What is the LAPD doing? They go to this man's house, arrest him, look through everything except the sealed boxes. Come on, man. Even if I were just walking into the house as a regular person, I'd see those boxes and be like, ooh, I wonder what's in there. This is garbage. Come on, man.
If that room was searched and those boxes were searched, would there be a report on that?
If there was
What's in them
anything
boxes?
found relative to the investigation, items that we were highlighted or looking to, yes.
Well, you agree that those sealed boxes obviously weren't searched, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Insane.
Which would be defense.
Why, as in young?
Wise and young. Same thing here, wise and young, as well as knowing that box wasn't searched right there, correct?
Correct.
All right. Next.
Man.
C's and zebra.
C's and zebra. Those suitcases, were they opened and searched, do you know?
I don't recall specifically from my memory.
Next.
Hey, LA, if you ever get raided by the police and they knock on your door and they say open up, just say, hey, a second, and then go get as many boxes as you can find, put all your stuff in it. They won't search through it. You'll be good. Case closed. Not guilty. Shout out to the LAPD.
Hey, Adam.
Same question. Sealed boxes were not opened and searched.
Lazy, man.
Is that it? One more.
BB.
Can you guys hold on a second? I gotta get a box.
One second. There's a lot of things there, but any of these sealed boxes that you see in the photo,
No, sir.
they were not searched. And during the search, law enforcement did not recover a 9mm firearm, correct?
That's correct.
You did recover a Glock 9mm magazine,
That's correct.
and it was full, correct?
Yes, it was to capacity, 6 rounds.
Did you ever take the prints off of that magazine?
No.
You never printed that magazine?
No.
You were capable of doing that, correct?
Yes, since it came from his bedroom, I didn't have it processed.
Okay. And there were 6 Sig Luger 9mm.
Embarrassing.
In the magazine?
Yeah,
Yes.
in the magazine, right? The 9mm cartridges were not loose or anything. They're
No.
inside that magazine. And that 9mm magazine, those 6 cartridges in the box, they were found in the box containing other magazines and other cartridges that were not 9mm.
That's correct.
Can you show the pictures of the 2?
He said he didn't have a box cutter. Oh, man.
So what I'm going to do next, I'm just going to show you real quickly something the jury's already seen, but you may have seen it too then. Just the pictures of the 2 shell cases recovered by Mr. Efron and the 6 shell cases recovered inside the magazine.
Okay.
So the ones on the left there are say Sig. You see those?
This is the defense exhibit?
It is, right?
Okay, this is going to be CC, Charlie Charlie.
Okay, CC, right. So the ones on the left, right there, so yes, those are the Sig Luger 9mm cartridges?
Yes, these are the live rounds that were recovered from the magazine that contained within the magazine.
Okay. And those are different cartridges, obviously. The brand of the one on the right is what's called FC, or Federal
Yeah, FC Luger.
Right.
On the right are the spent casings.
Right. And SIG is the other one.
And the live rounds are SIG.
It's embarrassing, man.
SIG.
6 hour?
6 hour Luger.
Okay, thanks. Okay. Okay. You also recovered, was it 2 rifle magazines as well?
Correct.
Jeez, man.
As part of your investigation, you learned that Mr. Mayers was licensed to possess firearms. As part of your investigation,
It's not hearsay.
you learned whether or not Mr. Mayers was licensed to carry firearms.
Objection, calls for yes or no.
Nothing I can confirm, but I heard he did.
You did, okay. And those 2.
Anything after nothing I can confirm as being non-responsive.
Sustain the answer's true.
And
What was the objection?
The 2, the one gun, the what was it called? You know the name of that 44 Magnum? Desert Eagle. Desert Eagle. That was Mr. Mayers. That was registered to Mr. Mayers.
Correct.
Right, registered to Mr. Mayers.
Yes.
Object is again false or hearsay.
Overruled.
And
It's his investigation.
was also registered to Mr. Mayers.
Second objection.
Overruled. That's correct.
Okay. Meaning legally registered to him, correct?
Yes, both those weapons are registered.
And the other weapon, gun, whatever you call it, that was recovered was the shotgun.
It was a shot.
And that was registered to an individual named Lou Levin.
I don't remember who specifically was registered to, but it was a legal.
It was a legal weapon.
Correct.
Also, all 3 were legal weapons.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, that shotgun was given back to its rightful owner before he left the scene, correct?
I don't recall if it was that Mr. Levin took.
He don't recall. Come on,
That's
man.
just my recollection.
Okay, it's okay. Well,
It's all right.
what
He doesn't know.
refresh your recollection.
I don't know if there's any. Obviously, Mr. Levin took possession of the house when he left. He took charge of the house, so what he removed after that, I'm not aware of.
Okay. I'm talking about what he removed. I'm talking about what you removed. You removed the 2 guns registered to Mr. Mayers, correct?
No.
You saying you left them in the house?
Yes.
You sure about that?
Yes.
So you left those 2, the Magnum and the rifle in the house?
Yes.
And obviously the shotgun you left there as well?
Yes, those are all legal weapons. And
All legal
not
weapons.
part of what our search warrant encompasses.
Okay. Okay.
They just want to get out of there.
By the way, you never asked Mr. Efron if he had firearms back in November of 2021, did you?
I don't recall asking him. I do recall making inquiries as far as runs or checks.
What?
And I don't recall finding any guns registered to him during that period of time.
He made inquiries? What does that mean?
I'm going to read the preliminary hearing, page 271, lines 2 to 4.
What purpose is this for?
Impeachment, you just said don't full estimate.
Uh-oh. We got some impeachment.
Volume 1 or volume 2? What's the page?
Page 271, Your Honor, lines 2 to 4.
Is this the Flores testimony?
Sorry, yes, of course.
What line?
2 to 4.
Look at Cat with the peaches.
It's fair game.
Here we go.
No,
You were asked by
you
the
follow it up if you want.
It's peach
Never
time.
asked Mr. Efron if he had firearms back in 2021. Answer, not specifically. Now, you were here the other day when it was revealed that Mr. Efron was at a firing range in Los Angeles in October, late October 2021, correct?
Correct.
By the way, the search of the house had 21 officers, more or less.
More or less.
Jeez, they had 20 officers in there and they didn't open boxes? Good Lord.
When you spoke to Mr. Efron on November 9th, 2021, Mr. Efron told you that he believed he was grazed on his left hand knuckle area.
Object, seems facts, non-evidence. I'm not talking to him.
He's asking him
I'm
what he...
sorry. He did not lie.
You have to inquire whether he said that. You're saying when the detective spoke to him, it assumes that that's what Efron said. So ask him if Efron said that.
Okay, this is short.
I know.
Okay. So on November 9th, 2021, did Mr. Efron tell you that he believed he was grazed on his left knuckle area?
Yes.
And despite supposedly being grazed by a bullet on November 6, 2021, Mr. Efron did not seek medical attention until returning to New York.
That's my understanding, yes.
And even though Mr. Efron waited to fly across country to receive medical treatment, obviously there are hospitals in Los Angeles that could have treated him, this injury, whatever it was.
Yes, sir.
That wasn't a question.
The fact is, Mr. Efron
Come on, Joe.
went
Tighten
to the
up.
hospital after Detective Manafee on November 9, 2021, during a phone call, told him that he needs to go get medical attention to medically treat because of the type of case that this is, correct?
Objection, calls for speculation.
Okay, Your Honor, there's tape in evidence that I'll play a portion of. We have to look.
I would object to hearsay.
In evidence.
The jury's already heard it. So
It's in evidence.
technically, it
There you go.
is hearsay. Go on to something else. The jury's already heard it. You can play it in final argument.
Okay, did you hear it? Did you hear it?
I remember the comment. I can remember that line of questioning, and I think I made a comment prior to that as well.
Okay.
And I think in the context that
So yes or no?
making a comment about his injury, and I think I also suggested he should get looked at, and I think that's when Detective Menifee also made her statement.
Her statement was that he needs to go get medical treatment because of the type of case that this is, correct?
I believe that's the context.
And with regard to his statements, Mr. Efron first reported this incident to the police, again, just to be clear, 2 days later, November 8, 2021.
Correct.
He didn't call 911.
No,
He didn't go to the police on November 6, 2021.
that's correct.
Waited 2 days before
Crazy.
reporting to law enforcement.
Yes, sir.
And when he did finally walk to a police station in Los Angeles to report to law enforcement, he did so in person with his attorney, Brian Hurwitz.
Yes.
And you were here last week when Mr. Efron testified on cross-examination that he did not recall telling law enforcement that he told an attorney, Brian Hurwitz, who told him to retrieve the shell casings from the scene. Were you here, sir?
Object is irrelevant.
No. Overruled.
I believe I was.
Come on now.
But when Mr. Efron reported the incident to the police, he did, in fact, make that claim. Correct? He told the police that after the alleged shooting, he called attorney Brian Hurwitz, and that Mr. Hurwitz told him to return to the scene of the altercation and retrieve the shell casings. Do you remember that?
Vague as to what he's talking about. Vague.
Read it back, please.
But when Mr. Efron reported the incident to the police, he did in fact make that claim, correct? He told the police that after the alleged shooting, he called attorney Brian Horowitz, and that Mr. Horowitz told him to return to the scene of the altercation and retrieve the shell casings.
What's the legal name?
Vague. He's saying
It is. Yeah,
please.
it is.
Wait, so is he asking him if Relly told the police that he went and talked to his lawyer and the lawyer told him to go back to the scene? I think that's what he's asking. So Joe is asking Detective Flores, did Relly tell you his lawyer wanted him to go back to the scene to recover the shell casings? That's what it sounds like. We'll see.
Told you that Brian Hurwitz, his attorney, instructed him to return to the scene to retrieve the shell casings, correct?
I'm trying to recall the exact context. I know he made several calls and he was giving advice to go back. I don't remember the sequence of phone calls with Mr. Horowitz.
Okay, let's see if I can refresh your recollection. I'm going to show you your report.
Okay.
75, it's the August 5th, 2022.
Is this the first page?
Second page.
22. So we're
Yeah.
All right, listen, man. Y'all shoot at me with a semi-automatic, a shotgun, a water gun, a rubber band gun. I'm calling the police right away. I don't care who it is. I'm calling them. You got to go. Period. So, I don't know. But, hey, that's not a defense that, oh, I would have done this. It just doesn't make sense that he didn't call the police until 2 days later. Why? I'm snitching on all y'all. I don't care. I don't care. You shoot at me, you're done. Now, if we're in Georgia and you shoot at me, that's a different story. I won't be calling the police, but it'll be for a different reason. I'll just leave that there.
Anything can be used to refresh recollection.
Your Honor, you've already ruled on this. That's my issue. I don't want to do a speaking objection. If you don't mind, can we just briefly approach?
Yes.
Oh boy. All right, here we go. We got to approach. Let's take a break for a second because they're going to complain. Because, Your Honor, I don't want to do a speaking objection. Let me read some of these super chats real quick and we'll keep it going. Who did I miss? We got Dr. EJ up in here gifting the 5 memberships. Mr. Brown dropped the 1 bomb in the building. Shout out to you. We got EC in here with the 10. Shout out to EC, says Trump is causing drama in Gaza, but you are live with pop culture news? How dare you?
These niggas lacking.
Classy, what is he doing? I don't know. I just heard that news last night on X and I have not looked into it. So, I don't know if I'll talk about it on this channel, but I got to do something. I got to start another channel so we can talk about what's going on in the world, maybe a little bit of finance and some other things. But yeah, I'll look into it and maybe I'll bring it up at some point. Thank you for the 10 bomb, EC. I appreciate it. Shout out to 4547. We got Libby22 SC girl in here with the 5 bomb, says thank you for helping me understand this stuff. Shout out to Libby. I love chatting with your chat as well. Everyone is too funny. Yeah, y'all are absolutely amazing in here as well. Shadow Fox with the 2 bombs says, now the cop has Woody syndrome? What? He said, I don't recall. I don't remember what happened. And then Janet is in the building as well with the 5 bomb, says, you guys remember the Kobe Bryant's wife suiting them before they were taking a pic? They just as goofballs. What? Not sure what you're saying there, Janet, but I think I know why your super chat came out that way, because sometimes when you're super chatting on mobile, if you start typing it, it adds like additional words and it tries to suggest things. I've had an issue with it as well when I've super chatted on other channels. So if you want to clarify in the chat, I'll make sure I read your comment. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Let's keep it going. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know why it does that. Here we go. All right, we got to rewind a little bit. Hold on. There we go. Yes. Okay. I see. I do remember that. Rest in peace to Kobe and Gigi and everybody else that was involved in that plane crash. Kashawn says, yeah, Vanessa Bryant sued the LAPD for using a picture of Kobe Bryant's plane crash in a meeting. Yeah, they published it too. That was terrible. Yeah, that was, I remember when that happened. That was, man, yeah. Yeah, rest in peace to Malbum.
Having read that, does it refresh your recollection that Mr. Efron mentioned that he was told by his attorney to return to the scene of the location and retrieve the gun case?
Yes.
That's not what that says, Your Honor. And the court read it.
You want to read verbatim? You just said yes, first of all. That's exactly
The answer yes? The answer is yes. Go on to something. The objection to overruled.
Okay. You and Detective Manfrey eventually interviewed Mr. Efron's attorney, Brian Hurwitz, on March 22nd.
Objection to all this.
Sustained.
So they interviewed his attorney, and they're saying it's not
Law
relevant.
enforcement secured Mr.
Interesting.
Efron's phone records from the night of the incident, November 6, 2021.
Correct.
Jason, don't start with the Lakers, man.
And the incident happened at 10:17 p.m. That's I think
Don't do that.
25 seconds more or less. Sir.
Yes, roughly from one incident to the second incident to the end.
And as you say, Mr. Efron, an individual returned to the scene at 11:09, correct?
Correct. Based on the video camera.
Based on the video camera. And you'd agree, by the way, that Mr. Efron's phone records do not show a single call between him and Brian Hurwitz between 10:17 and 11:09.
Not that I recall, no, sir.
And in fact, Mr. Hurwitz's phone number, which is in the report, I'm not going to say it out loud here, appears in Mr. Efron's phone records on November 10th, 2021 at 12:19 p.m. LA time.
I'm not sure about the exact dates.
So,
I'm not exactly sure about the date and time of that first call with Mr. Horowitz on that line.
okay. Do you want to stick with it then and show me the board? The time. I want to do the 4:05, please. Missed this, if I can speak slow. Do you remember, in search of Mr. Efron's phone records, there not being a call to Mr. Hurwitz until a few days later?
I recall some point after. Yes.
After.
Correct.
All right, that's fine.
At least directly, that show up directly.
Right. But certainly not on November 6th, going into the morning of November 7th.
Again, nothing directly.
Directly as opposed to indirect.
A three-way call, somebody, three-way call, anything like that.
Did you see any indication of three-way call on the phone records?
I don't know that it would necessarily reflect three-way calls, just a direct call to somebody. But again, not that I'm aware of. until after.
Well, did you see any calls between the time of 10:17 and 11:09, for example, from Mr. Efron's phone?
I don't recall seeing any calls between that time.
Help his memory out, because he don't recall now.
As a detective, you agree, when conducting an investigation of an alleged shooting, you wouldn't want anyone who's not law enforcement moving evidence or taking evidence from the scene, right?
Correct.
Because that could tamper with and hinder your investigation.
It can.
Now, you interviewed Mr. Efron's girlfriend, correct?
Correct.
Ms. Parker?
Yes.
You never took Ms. Parker's phone?
No.
Okay. So therefore, obviously, you better examine it to see what text or calls have been made from it.
Not from her phone, physically, no.
You said you saw the videos in this case?
Yes.
All of them?
Yes.
You never saw a video with Ms. Parker returning to the scene?
None that were collected, no.
And I want to ask a question, but I'm not one of our out of court ruling, and it's a question that would be prejudicial to them if I asked it. And you,
All right, why don't you come on off the record, let me know what it is.
Yeah.
Now, here we go. We got another break. Dang, man, we just trying to get through this, y'all. Come on. Joe wants to make sure he can ask this question. Here we go. We'll keep it moving. Here we go.
you saw that, I think we discussed, I don't know if Mr. Basola played it for you, but the in-person interview you did with Mr. Efron in December of 2021, where you showed the video of what was initially him returning to the scene. You saw that here?
Correct.
Okay. And when he was watching the video, he said initially that was him, correct?
Yes, that's what, I mean, he had to get it by the form of a question. You're talking about the interview on December 17th?
The interview on December 17th regarding the person returning at 11:09.
Correct.
Yes, that was him, right?
That was, again, what he was indicating in the form of his questioning.
You heard Mr. Efron's testimony regarding that and the evolution of that belief. He first testified before the jury that that was him. Mr. Basola asked him if he was sure that that was him. You recall that, and then he subsequently changed to that topic.
Say to the word evolution.
Changed, which I thought was synonym for evolution, changed into it wasn't. You saw that testimony?
Yes.
Okay. And you heard Mr. Efron say his girlfriend was there, but he then said maybe she was in the parking lot. You remember him saying that?
Correct.
Meaning that may be the reason why she's not on video?
Correct.
Put her on the stand. Put her on the stand.
And then asked him about the clothes being different, like he did with you just now. You remember what Mr. Efron initially said?
Objection, relevance, and hearsay.
He was just asking on the record.
I don't recall his exact response.
Do you remember him saying, I'm sure that was me, but I probably went and changed my clothes? Do you remember testifying to that?
I'm sorry, I didn't see.
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah, get her up there.
During your in-person interview with Mr. Efron on December 2021, you asked him why he continued to follow Mr. Mayor's video he had a gun, right?
Yes.
Because according to you, you told him that would seem to be an odd thing to do.
Yes.
Okay. And when you asked him that, why did he continue to follow Mr. Mayers after seeing a gun? Mr. Efron couldn't give you a clear answer. What he said was, I don't know why.
The first part of the question is argumentative. Excuse me. The first part of the question is argumentative. The second part is not.
Okay.
Read the question back.
Yeah, can we hear the question? I don't know what he's talking about.
When you asked him that, why did he continue to follow Mr. Mayers after seeing that? Mr. Efron couldn't give you a clear answer. What he
Yeah,
said.
right.
That part?
That part about Efron couldn't give it.
You get what I was asked.
Ask the question again.
I'm going to ask it again. When you asked Mr. Efron why did he continue to follow Mr. Mayers after seeing a gun, what he said was he didn't know why.
Correct.
With respect
He
to
said,
the
I
video
don't recall.
recording case, which you've seen the image of Mr. Mayers holding an object, which according to you appears to be a gun. You'd agree, without having that object, you cannot help that it's not a gun, correct?
On the first incident?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
On the video where you see Mr. Mayers holding what appears to be a gun.
Correct. On the parking structure of the first video camera, yes. I mean, without it, anything else appearing on that video other than him holding what I believe to be a handgun, I cannot determine whether or not that's an operational gun or firearm gun. Correct.
And with regard to the video incident, after reviewing the footage captured from 16 Vista Del Mar, that law enforcement prepared a document entitled Video Download Information Summary. Remember that?
Yes.
And in that document, law enforcement described what it could observe in the footage. Which one? Here's that one. This. You prepared a document describing what you could observe in the video footage, correct?
Correct. Notes that kind of detail what specifically can timestamp at certain points of different angles, angle for angle, and then obviously looking at everything collectively from all the angles together.
And, for example, what you saw appeared to be a struggle on the street at 2217.
Correct.
Specifically, what that video shows is Mr. Efron apparently struggling with hills, they said hills.
Yes.
And you also detailed approximate distances observed within the video, right?
Roughly.
And you listed various times of various events seen on the video.
Correct.
You described that as a subject, I'm sorry, you described that a subject was in a dark colored jacket or sweater.
Correct.
In preparing the report, obviously you want to document anything that you observed on the video which was considered important with respect to the case?
Yeah, just give it a rough timestamp of what the events took place, and to give it a holistic view at the end of which we can look at all the pieces together and tell the story.
But in the report, you didn't want to leave anything important out.
Well, again, these are just notes to mark timestamps. So, yes, what I thought was important relative to that frame.
So whatever he thought was important.
If a gun or a shooting were observed on the video from 1616 Visa Del Mar, that's something you would have documented in your summary, correct?
Again, sir, it's collectively. I mean, that's part of
It's collective.
A, where the incident began, where we observed the gun. B, where the struggle took place, and you can see various individuals running in different directions. And then as we move up, collectively, we see the next video with sound, where we can hear the gunshots. I mean, it's collectively not just one piece.
Okay, so let me just make sure you understood that question.
Okay. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
He's talking too much.
Clearly,
Answer
as
the
part of the
question.
investigation, if a gun or a shooting were observed on the video from 1616 Visa Del Mar, that's something you would have documented in a summary. Yes?
Yes.
That's it. But that summary that you have, by the way, certainly does not document that a shooting was observed, right?
I mean, not from that angle. It's documented what can actually be observed from that angle, which is, I mean, the view is fuzzy. It gives you an overview of the motion that's going on. But again, pieced together with everything else, it's...
But that summary does not document that a shooting was observed, right?
Correct. It does not.
In fact, that summary does not even document that a gun was observed in the video from 1616 Visa Del Mar.
Correct. That person is correct.
So you agree from the video, there's no evidence in the video from 1616 Visa Del Mar that actual gun was being discharged, correct?
It's relevant. What do you mean?
Nothing that I could observe in detail that I can see as a gun. Again, it's in frame with everything else, maybe.
Well, here's my question.
Correct.
These are my question.
All right.
Right? Almost done. You agree from the 1616 Visa Del Mar video, that's that video, the one that shows the whole struggle and all the fuzzy stuff, right? You agree that there is no evidence from that video of an actual gun being discharged, correct?
Correct. From that view by itself, no.
There you go. Got it.
The sequence surveillance video that you put together overlaps video from the 1616 Visa Del Mar video with the audio from the 6200 Hollywood Boulevard video.
Correct.
All right. And that's the People's Exhibit 15? 15? Okay. And you did that, right? You basically overlapped the video from 1616 Visa Del Mar that had no audio, right?
Correct.
Okay. And the audio from 6200 Hollywood Boulevard.
Correct.
And you put it together. And you agree that the 1616 Visa Del Mar video, you just said this doesn't have any sound, but the video from 6200 Hollywood Boulevard does.
That's correct.
Interesting. So the video of them when they're walking away, it doesn't have any sound. Interesting.
So you overlapped the videos from each location, trying to show when the shot would have occurred during the 1616 Visa Del Mar video.
Correct.
Okay. Of course,
wow.
The overlap is off, even by a fraction of a second. The shot would not have occurred during the precise moment shown on the overlap 1616 Visa Del Mar video, correct?
Correct.
And with regard to the 6200 Hollywood Boulevard video, you extracted 3 sets of videos from 3 different cameras maintained by the business at that location.
Correct.
And it's been stipulated, you heard of that, you agree
yes,
on something. It's been agreed that the date and timestamp on 3 cameras from 6200 Hollywood Boulevard are approximately 2 to 3 minutes faster than actual time.
That's correct.
And the reason the cameras are approximately 2 to 3 minutes faster than actual time instead of the exact amount is because each camera is off from an actual time by a different amount.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's not unusual when we collect video.
Yes, it's unusual. Okay. I'm saying the reason that you're using a range of 2 to 3 minutes as opposed to 2 minutes and 4 seconds is because each of those cameras is off from actual time by a different amount.
Yes.
For instance, on camera
Interesting.
1, you hear the first shot at 10, 15, 53 seconds. Hold on before we play it. We have to mark this. This is a defense exhibit.
I'm going to check to see this states the stipulation.
Well, that's what. What's there?
He's saying the video from 6200 Hollywood was off by 2 to 3 minutes. He's talking about the big.
So where did this gunshot come from?
Why
Good question.
If I don't need to get involved, I don't want to get involved.
No, court is going to be back tomorrow. No court today. Yeah, it's an interesting direction Joe is going with this. I think that might be it for the day. We'll see. Yeah, they're looking at the timestamps. They're kind of like, that's not good. So that was it, y'all. That was the end of the day. They had to shut it down. Prosecutor was like, whoa, 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 hey. What's that about? Interesting ending, interesting way to end the day, because it seems like Joe is implying that the audio doesn't match up on the videos. Therefore, it could have been caused by something else. There's reasonable doubt that Rocky was the one that fired shots at all. Wow. Very interesting, man. Shout out to everybody that was in here showing love. I appreciate y'all. Let me read some of these super chats, and I'm going to get y'all up out of here until tomorrow morning. Thank you again to everybody that showed love and liked the video as well. Let me see. I missed a couple of these. Oh, here we go. We've got Samantha Crumbly in the building with the 5 bombs. She says, is this guy really trying to sue for a hand graze for $30 million? Well, not just a hand graze. You got to remember, he lost his ASAP friends. You know, he's got some emotional trauma in there. ASAP Rocky wouldn't return his phone calls, his texts. So really, he's been through it, Samantha. So we've got to give him some grace. Also, Samantha Crumbly with another 5 bomb in here, just showing love with the super sticker. Thank you, Samantha. I appreciate it. And then, of course, last but not least, we've got Janet in here with the 10 bomb as well. Shout out to Janet. Thank you so much. What did she say? She says, sorry, I texted wrong. It was about Vanessa Bryant suing the police department because they are so dumb. Dang. They were taking pictures and showing it amongst each other. She won the lawsuit. Yeah, shout out to Vanessa Bryant, man. Wife of the late, great GOAT, Kobe Bryant. I'm glad she won that because that was nasty work. I couldn't believe those pictures came out. As a Kobe fan, as a Lakers fan, I was upset. I'm like, golly, man, this is crazy. What do y'all think about this moving forward? It'll be interesting to see if we have redirect from the state tomorrow. Especially, this is something that wasn't mentioned before by Joe that I remember when it comes to the issues with the audio. Again, showing reasonable doubt to the jury. Maybe this wasn't from Rocky. No, it's going to be hard to tell. We'll have to wait and see what they do tomorrow. Also, it looks like we might have another witness on the stand tomorrow. So y'all make sure you stay tuned for that. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any time that we go live or drop a new video for you guys. We're doing 4 a day right now, so y'all make sure you stay locked in. Y'all know we're not going anywhere. We don't take any breaks. If you are interested in hearing some independent music from some of the artists in this community, make sure you tune into the Song of the Night live tonight, right here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll actually get an opportunity to vote during the Versus Challenge tonight and decide which artist is your favorite and which artist you think should move forward and claim that next spot in the Season 11 tournament. I appreciate y'all so much, man. Shout out to Dr. EJ for sponsoring today's show as well, dropping the 50 bomb and gifting the 5 memberships. We are going to be back. We'll be back tonight and back tomorrow for another episode of the Music Morning Show. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. And as always, you know what to do. Keep growing, keep pushing, keep it classy. We gone. Peace.